What's up, everybody? Hello and welcome and hello. Welcome back to another day, another episode, another live stream with Unspecified podcast and review. Not very many live streams that I can find. What's up, everybody? Portland declared 2 riots last night. Thank you for the update, James. BLM has successfully shut down the following Walmarts today until 9 a.m. tomorrow. Walmart Supercenter Jacksonville, AR, Walmart Supercenter Sherwood, Walmart Neighborhood Marketplace. People who showed up to pick up prescription medications were told to go over to the Walgreens. Goodness. Yep, there was at the Lavish Lounge in somewhere in the Carolinas, a strip club. There was a shooting. I'm hanging in there, Ashley. I'm hanging in there. Well, hello, Miranda. What's up, everybody? Ashley, what's up? Both Ashleys. All right. So I guess... let's see here. Heyo, what's up, Tom? What's up? What's up? Anybody with any live links, let me know, because I can't seem to find any. But I guess what we have to talk about here today is I wanted to break down a little bit more of what's going on with this armed black militia. And specifically, why are we separating the militias? The militia is the militia. The militia is the people. I'm not understanding, what, Brooke, what's up? Boom. Why it has to be a white militia and a black militia. And I think that alone is just disturbing, why we can't come together. See, that's the division that I've been trying to talk about. What's up? What's up? Arkansas Walmart feeds are on my page. Crap. Okay. What's up, Brooke? Brofist. What's up, Stacy? Ashley? I found this live link. LOL, yeah. Yeah. Is calling for their own land. They want Texas. Like all Texas? I just had 3 live feeds in Atlanta, but right as I went live, all of them went away. So you'll have to forgive me. I will be working on other live streams. But I don't have any at the moment. And I think that this is, important enough to look at. Oh. Now their videos are unavailable. Good thing I downloaded them. How about that? Also, what are everyone's thoughts on Kanye running for president out of nowhere in the 9th inning? April, what's up? I just feel like the black militia is a very divisive stance. As a militia, we could stand together and be stronger. I don't know why it has to be divided by color. I know the white people didn't divide their militia by color. They don't, exclude black people. It's not racist like that. No black people tried to join, I assume. Yikes. All right.
And then become the backbone for the military for a new black nation.
What is the solution to all of this? And that's the last
The solution is very simple. We file a Declaration of Liberation, declaring every African American descendant of slavery a political prisoner here in the United States and that was affected by the Portuguese slave trade. And then after that, the United States has a choice. Either A, carve us a piece of land out here, we'll take Texas and let us do our own thing, or don't stop us when we exodus up out of here and go somewhere where they will give us our own land to build our own nation.
What is your name and what is the...
I'm the official Grandmaster Jay. I created the NFAC.
All right, and how long have the organization been in existence?
We don't give that information out. Just how we'll tell you this, we're all ex-military. We're all very disciplined. We're all expert shooters. We don't want to talk no more. We don't want to negotiate. We don't want to sing songs. We don't bring signs to a gunfight. We're an eye for an eye organization. So when they decide to act right, we'll decide to act right. And we do it all legally, just like they do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Uhuru.
Anybody need to see that again? No, we good. What's up, Walt? What's up, Mark? All right, we got a live feed. Thank you so much. And something else I'm sure I missed. They want Texas. I think this is Seattle. BLM protests in Seattle. And Puget Sound. Puget has always been such an odd word to me.
So for those who maybe are just tuning in, we are live streaming. This is live from Seattle, Washington. We are outside of the Whole Foods in South Lake Union, which is kind of in the heart of the Amazon campus. And we are again broadcasting
Good evening, John.
live. This on Westlake Avenue.
But he would say who they is.
Black Lives Matter protest
Brofist. What's up,
against
my man?
Whole Foods. And what this is involving
Ashley, thank you
is
so much for this.
Whole Foods has been disciplining employees who are wearing
Brofist Mike,
items
what's
that
up?
say Black Lives Matter on them. But they're allowing other articles of clothing or buttons or etc. that could be defined as being activist.
Yes,
and one of
love.
the things here, particularly at this one, at South Lake Union, was a pride flag for LGBTQIA. Not out here saying, nor are they out here saying, because the people involved said they never said that they wanted anything from the LGBTQIA movement removed from there. But the solution.
Everybody, what's up, Stacy? Thank you so much for being here. Brofist, everybody. I'll be right back. Sorry, Kevin. I'll get to your message in just a second. I'll be right back, everybody.
There was some stuff in the local media kind of trying to build a narrative that the people wanted it taken down, which simply isn't true. You know, another thing here, we just have a little pause for the cause. I'll just hold this up here. Dia's Love, the GoFundMe is still ongoing there. She is probably going to be in the hospital for a long time and have a very, very long recovery. I finally brought myself to watch her video. I was not on the highway, but I was there within maybe about 15 or 20 minutes of the aftermath and did some interviews and did some coverage. And I know 3 people directly that were down on there. And I've had some interactions with Diaz because, right, she's a streamer, and the streamer community here is very close to each other. So, you know, there is a GoFundMe for Diaz Love. The original goal was for $20,000. That has been shattered, as you can see. You know, please, if you can find in your heart just even $5 or something, it would be really appreciated. let's face it, y'all, it isn't about law and order. It's just about you don't like the message. And that's really just what it comes down to. Because here's the thing that I'm just not going to let go. If you're like, government can't make me wear a mask, but you're saying that the government here can ask for ID for somebody in the chop zone when there is no law that supports that in Washington state law, the two don't jive. They just simply don't jive. If you're like, can't make me wear a mask, then you should be, can't ask me for ID. Likewise, if you're wear a mask, if there's an emergency declaration to say to produce ID, then it should kind of jive that you're supportive of both of those. It's that simple. And again, if you're not familiar with the feed, Brad Fox and I demonstrated, not on purpose, by the way, it's just Brad had a total, I walked through CHOP, I even accidentally, because there was an area that was not barricaded, and I even accidentally entered Cal Anderson Park in that feed. And an officer just kind of started approaching me and said, hey, the park's closed. That's literally what he said to me, and I apologized. Because in the feed, I had said multiple times, it's like, wow, there's nothing preventing me from going in the park other than I'm not going to go to jail for a stupid trespassing charge. If I'm going to go to jail, it's going to be for something worthwhile. And the officer is like, no issue. I did have a couple of officers follow me as I continued to walk down Nagel Road on the perimeter. And once I turned and started moving past on the northern side, I think. So I always get my north, south, east, west mixed up there. I think on the northern side or the western side. And I turned to go, yeah, that would be the north, no, it doesn't matter. I guess it is the north side. The north, when I got to the northwest corner, I just figured it out. And I turned to go north. They stopped following at that point. I then did a second walkthrough after Brad had a pretty nasty conversation with one Sergeant Patterson. And I know people kind of watch Brad videos and my video. In my video, I probably even got closer to the police officers than Brad did, and had conversations. I walked, and I even kind of stopped and when you're supposed to keep moving. And then as I was walking out, Sergeant Patterson came over to me and was like, you know,
What's up? I'm back.
You have to keep moving, which was kind of
What's
weird
up? Found
to me
one
at
link.
that
Thank
point,
you, Gilbert.
because I'm like, clearly I'm moving, bro, and clearly I'm walking out. But okay, thank you for the public service announcement. And what was really weird about that interaction with Sergeant Patterson is I had, again, you can go back and look at the live stream. I not only passed easily 20 SPD officers, I interacted and talked with almost all of them. And with the camera up, there was no, and the rig that I'm holding right now would be unmistakable. You know, it's not like I'm just here with a phone. And I think it was very, very interesting to see the differences in the policing.
Trying to get something about
And the treatment that Brad got and I got. And if some people are like, well, Brad's in their face
Admir,
and stuff
is
like
this
that,
live?
I
I don't have anything to drink.
because I have this condition where I can't remember people's faces and names. If I remember somebody's face and name, they're pretty special to me in my circle. Or they left some really big impression. There was an officer, he was looking at me, and I was looking at him, and we were face to face, and I know he recognized me. I could tell by the look on his face. And if I recognized him and totally was not like, do I know you? And it was like, oh man, I know this dude. Then he had something in my mind. And the whole point of that is I still didn't get a negative reaction. Not anything like Brad. And one of the other thing that Brad and I showed in that, if anything, Brad was dressed maybe a little more normal than I was. I was literally like in head to toe black, with, you know, with the black hoodie,
Yeah.
the dangerous black hoodie.
I hear that, Russ.
Where Brad had on like
At least they're
pants
persistent.
and
Thank you for the link,
you know, we're
Gilbert.
both wearing
Broke
masks.
this.
It's just very
Boom.
weird. The
Lettuce, what's up?
inconsistency from the same officer. That's the other thing. It's the
Taylor says Civil War
inconsistency
2.0 is upon us. Who thinks this is going to turn into a civil war? 1, you think it's going to turn into a civil war. 2, you think this is going to level out. Uh-oh, watch out, Gilbert. Uh-oh. Karen West says 1. Taylor says 1. So we got 2. 1. Bro fist. 1. And okay, so we got somebody who thinks that it'll chill out. Willie is another 1. I am not getting any chat from YouTube. Let me see. Am I not on YouTube? I am on YouTube. My chat is not giving me YouTube chat. Well, that sucks. Sorry, YouTube. I'll get you guys pulled up.
This is definitely
What's up, everybody
very,
over on YouTube?
welcome
I'm sorry I haven't
difference,
been able to see
from-
you guys' chat.
You know, one by one, the people's getting larger, and I had heard, right, because this will be going on from 3 to 6, and
Damn, Intel says 1 eventually.
they were saying that, you know, more people would
MISO,
continue to be
or
trickling
MISO,
in, and the number
1
of
depopulation,
employees
that's
and
right, I
supporters
agree
out
with
here
that.
continues to slowly grow.
I think this is a
on
massive
this
depopulation effort.
post-holiday. What we jokingly
Also,
say
I need
in Seattle
chapstick.
is our first day of summer. It's a real popular joke in Seattle that you got to wait until after the 4th of July for our summer to start. And we kind of enter this period of where it's just spectacularly gorgeous until mid-September if we're unlucky, or mid-October if we're lucky, and then someone turns the rain back on and it just becomes a ball of suck.
Would have been really fucking funny if it tried to do a burnout and just throttled into the person in front of it.
Civil War into World War III. Ugh. Yeah. It very possibly could go that way. Check your messenger. I sent a video. Crap, guys. It's hard enough for me to have YouTube chat, Facebook chat,
If you're
Discord,
part of the national
Messenger.
audience here, again, you can
Sorry,
probably put
everybody.
your fingers
I
in
can
your
only
ears and
review
go
so
la la
much
la
to
la la
tag.
for about 30 seconds. When I actually created
Oh
my
my
page
gosh,
like
I'm
4
so
years
sorry.
ago, certainly politics and activism was part of it, but meteorology and weather was another big part of it. Old school malcontents started
Yeah,
following
they,
me because
declared
of my
2 riots in
hyper
Portland last night.
local weather forecasts.
A lot of marching.
And my track record is pretty darn good at that. And so with that explanation and national audience, you can start listening again in about 10 seconds. Yesterday was our 10th 4th of July.
Stay here. You don't have a here to stay anymore. Okay, they about that far from just busting us in our ass for GP, and y'all ain't caught on yet. Because they don't want us here. Okay. Real quick. Get ourselves together. Build our Wakanda. Build our own metropolis. Make them trade with us. Build allies. Build our military. Build our economy. Build it. We got some of the brightest. Take over our own music industry again. Outlaw a bunch of shit we don't let nobody control it. Do our own television networks. Now, you know what I'm saying? Do our own thing. And then, once we've acquired nukes and done everything else that we need, we come back to see these people and be like, you know what, cuz I was going to let this slide, but
No
I changed
kidding,
my
Gilbert.
mind. What about them 400 years of slavery and 246? Y'all ain't going to give me nothing? All right, then. All right. Invasion.
gay community. We saw this with the unisex toilets,
Invasion.
which just hurt my brain. This whole ridiculous issue around this, because it's like, how exactly do you use a porta potty then? Because isn't a porta potty by default a unisex toilet? The whole thing was just completely ridiculous, and this concept of
might be considered a doom break. Might not be very relevant for you guys, but it's kind of relevant for us down here in Louisiana. Louisiana man faces charges for swimming in sporting goods store fish tank. Want to see?
He's talking about, I don't know. Oh my gosh. OMG. Oh Lord. Okay, he's getting out. Lord, I thought he was drowning.
what the fuck happened?
This is interesting.
That's a thing. The suspect told reporters he plunged into an indoor aquarium at Bass Pro Shop in Bossier City to celebrate getting 2,000 likes on TikTok. Hey, y'all. I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying. I might do the same. I'm just kidding.
Much appreciated.
When you gotta cool off, you gotta cool off. LOL. All those hot deals over at the Bass Pro Shop, you know.
I want to start out real quick by thanking the stores across the country that are also standing in solidarity with us. That'll be thank you to our sister stores in Boston, in Portland, Philadelphia, Connecticut, and in North Carolina. And thank you guys so much. I'll give them like a little cheer, little woo! Yeah.
Call from Travis Mod. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello? Uh-oh. You might not be able to hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you. Very good. We're good. What's up, brother?
Nice. Oh, man, it's been hot as freaking, I don't know, Sahara Desert out here, brother.
I hear that, man.
Yeah, yesterday was family day, so I kind of looked in a little bit. I don't know, I didn't see you on live, but not that I can remember, but it's possible. There's just so much news going on right now. It's hard to keep up with everything.
Yeah, it's a whirlwind, man.
It is.
It's a whirlwind of all kinds of crazy stuff. Now there's this new leader. Sorry, I've got a backup computer fan that's starting to squeal. I should have turned it on before the show.
No worries.
Okay, well, if it's just gonna squeal, I'll turn that off. But anyway, man.
You do what you gotta do.
No. Yeah, so there's what is this new militia? It's called NFCA.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
and we've watched a couple of things today from their leader, and I mean he's pretty much envisioning building a new like Wakanda, a utopia.
Well, it's all part of the. And you asked that question earlier, which is, it's a good question, but yet, in my viewpoint, we will never see a second civil war.
Okay, very interesting.
it's not about it's not about another war with the two different Americas that we have.
That's
more,
an interesting concept.
In my viewpoint, it's more of a world war.
You're right.
It had, because the BLM is, and I'll be the first to say, the BLM and what they're supposed to stand for in trying to
Make Black Lives Matter.
Well, yes, okay, that is, and you know it as well as I do. I think everybody else does too. At this point, that has been a smokescreen for a deeper ideology of whether it's whether a person wants to call it Marxism or what do you call it?
Communist or
socialism,
Marxist, socialist,
or communism. I think I personally think it's deeper than just even that. As far as a global aspect, and it's because in order to get people to succumb to being controlled, they have to start somewhere, and they started. And apparently now they've started with in my viewpoint, it actually started with the LGBTQ, and I'm not offended by that, and I'm not going to say that I accept those LGBTQs, but they have their rights, and that's
right.
great. If that's how you want to live, that's fine.
Right, you do have the free choice to do so.
You have the free choice to do so. However, LGBTQ has come into, I'm not going to say all of them, but a majority of them, they want to force that down people's throats. Just like the BLM, not all of them, they just, most of the BLM protesters, they just want to be recognized and to have some change within the police department and within the government. I understand that. I want some change in that.
Yeah, same here.
I want some change in that. But the people that are actually running those organizations, that's not their agenda. Their agenda is to, I'm a Christian, okay? And I'm going to say this as loud as I can as well. There are Christian organizations, and that's all they want to do is, they want to plunge that into your brain, or, force you, if you will, because they're not open to hearing anything else.
Right.
Now, do I believe that Christ Jesus is the only way and the way to go? Yes, but I am not going to force you to do anything.
Right.
It's not my job to force that on you. It's my job to say, hey, this is what I believe. If you want to believe another way, that's who am I to say? All I can tell you is I believe that way. Go ahead.
No, you're absolutely right. I love what you're saying.
I'm not going to force anything on you. Now, do I believe that you need to be a Christian or that you need to accept Christ as your Savior and really start to understand that? Yes, I do. But I'm not going to force that on you. Christ Jesus does it. He never forced anything on anybody.
That's right.
But with these different organizations like BLM, LGBTQ, communism, Antifa, whatever it may be, they see things their way, and they want, if you don't bow to that way, then they're going to do everything they can to destroy you. And that's not the way America was built, for one. You know, America was built on equal opportunity. You know, no color, creed, you know, nationality, sexual orientation, whatever it may be.
Right. And just to play devil's advocate here, though, I think we do kind of turn a blind eye towards more than a few years of mistreatment and singling out, you know, and you know, we very well could, you know, look, you know, I'm not trying to come in and stomp on anything. I'm just trying to say that they perceive it, along with, you know, in their music, Hollywood, that they've also been told about this mistreatment, and it's been personified in many new movies, especially in the last, I don't know how many years, you know, just the mistreatment of their entire culture.
Right.
And we can't deny that there was mistreatment. You know what I mean?
No, and I'm not denying that at all.
No, I'm not saying you are.
But
I'm just saying that we're not blind to it, is what I'm saying.
Right.
You know, so we understand the pain, and we can understand.
But should we have to pay for that?
Exactly, and there comes the question: how do I or my children owe reparation when I've done nothing but give and be friendly, and you know what I mean? I don't think that, you know, we should be held responsible for anything.
No, that was, you know, just because my ancestors did some bad things, and I know, I'm first. I'll be the first to say my ancestors, they did some great things, but they also did some bad things. You know, my ancestors, they were a part of some of the slavery, but they were also, my ancestors were also a part of freeing this country over wars, but in particular, World War II. I could say Vietnam War, but you know, Vietnam War was really, that was a war that we should have never been in the first place.
Yeah.
That was a totally political war that we knew could not.
Well, it falls under one of those. The military-industrial complex. The soldiers have a nickname. Some of the awake soldiers that I've seen, it's called GOD: gold, oil, and drugs. And
right. Yeah, and I agree.
And that's just some of the things that those boys wake up. They're like, man, I know what we're doing here. I see exactly what they want us to do here.
Well, World War II was not over that.
No.
Yeah. You know,
not World War II, but everything after that.
Everything after that. Well, outside of the Korean War.
Yeah, and the Korean War.
You know, the Korean War was a legitimate war that needed to be fought, because those people were being, and even today, as we speak, the North Koreans are living in absolutely horrific conditions. They're being treated with an iron fist that is just absolutely
unbearable. Yeah.
Unbearable. Yeah, I mean, you know, I say it's unbearable. For you and I, it's unbearable. For the people that are living it right now as we speak, they're having to do it. Now, if that was to happen if that was to happen right here in the United States, are you and I going to make it? Yes, but I mean, you know, we're going to be really paying a lot of hell. I mean, we're going to be going through some shit that is unreal by doing so. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. So what are your thoughts on, say, conflict either in America? Because that's what I'm worried about, is that it's usually the most unlikely crazy thing that, you know, would be the thing to happen.
I think it's actually happening in a lot of other places besides America. I watched a video the other day about how Ireland is starting to spark back up. I should be able. let me look back in my archives here later, and I will try to find that link to some video where Ireland has started to spark back up. You look at, what's happening right now in Hong Kong. That's just absolutely, you think we're having it bad here. You look at the Hong Kongs, in Hong Kong right now, those people are going through some craziness. Like, we don't even understand. As long as it's alive. To be truthful.
No, you're right. And they're holding up signs.
The whole world is, the whole world, you look at Iran and Israel and, Egypt and Israel, and that's where it's all, people don't want to believe the Bible. They don't want to believe what's taking place. But the Bible has clearly laid it out that there is going to, and if people are really, really understanding and they really, truly look at Scripture, and unfortunately, a lot of them don't want to, or they look at it as if Israel is in the wrong. And I'm not saying Israel isn't in the wrong. I'm just saying that, and I'm not saying that they're in the right. But what I am saying is that the world is going to come down to two divisions. And those two divisions are going to be evil versus good. Israel was declared in Bible terms as the land of the land that was God's. It's all God's, yes. It's all Jesus Christ, yes. I understand that, but the end of the world is going to take place in Israel, according to the Scriptures. And let me hear your thoughts on what I just said. Hello?
My mic was my mic was muted.
Okay. Did you hear what I said?
That essentially the end is going to happen in Israel.
The world is going to be, it's going to be from what I have read in the Scriptures, that every nation is going to turn against Israel. And Israel is the place that the entire world is going to turn against, and that's where things really become hell. And right now, I don't know. I don't know, my man. There's so much division. I was really thinking that something was going to happen yesterday on the 4th.
Yeah.
And and here we are going on almost a month and a half, almost maybe 2 months of all of this protesting and rioting and stuff. And we keep thinking something's going to happen this night, something's going to happen this night. Well, I'm not going to predict what's going to happen any night anymore. I'm just going to have to, hey, I'm here to watch it. I'm here to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I can't predict it. I can't say, oh, shit's going to happen here, shit's going to happen there. I know I'm kind of jumping around. It's just the way my mind
No, you're fine. You're fine. Because I have some of the worst case scenario theories being something that Obama said. I forget when, but he straight up said that it's more likely that a NUKE would strike Manhattan.
Well, see, I'm under my belief. My belief is that the United States isn't even going to be a part of this.
You think we're going to fall?
No, I think we're going to fall. Yes, but I personally believe that the U.S. is going to be turned into a glass factory.
Oh my gosh.
That's my personal belief, and here's why I say that. And it's not to scare you or anybody else.
Right.
It's not about being a fear monger and trying to fear people. It's by looking at the scriptures. There is nothing that I can see. As a matter of fact, there's not even anything in the scriptures that talks about America or even alludes to America. It talks about Asia and Russia, which is part of Asia.
Yeah, it does.
But it doesn't talk about anything that happens in America.
Well, I don't know. I don't know my info like I should, brother, but I've heard it depicted as we're the modern Babylon and that it would be destroyed in an hour. So
I agree. Yeah.
That this
and I
place
agree
would,
with that.
this place and everything it's built, everything it's done is going to be wiped off just in an hour.
And that's what I say by glass.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna be
That's
turning to glass.
yeah. That's what I thought.
You know, you've heard. I'm sure you've heard of the term where over.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Like, okay, you got it.
Yeah.
But you know, and it, you know, and if that's the way it is, you know, people don't need to be scared of that because, for one, if that happens, you're not even going to know it. People are not, you know, you're just going to be there one moment and you're not going to be there the next. You're not going to be living. You're not going to feel pain. You're not going to feel anguish. You're not going to feel anything. You're just going to be gone. Just the way it is.
Right.
You know, it's just like somebody, you know, it's just like the people when, you know, in World War II when we bombed Japan in Tokyo. When we bombed Tokyo, you know,
Did we bomb Tokyo? I thought it was Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Well, yeah, it was right outside of Tokyo. Yeah, I mean, it's all in the same. Cause I lived in Yokota, Japan, which is an air base.
Holy crap!
An air base. Yeah, an air base that's right there outside of Yokota, or outside of what do you call it? Yokota. Yokota was the air base, so you guys can look it up. It's called Yokota Air Force Base.
Dude, that's rad.
Yokata, I believe. And it's right outside of Tokyo. I lived there for 3.5 years. But, you know, just right down the street from where I lived is where they bombed. And that was actually the first not nuclear weapon, but I guess it was an atomic bomb or a hydrogen.
Right.
I think
yeah.
it was hydrogen.
I think it was hydrogen.
Bomb. Yeah, it was hydrogen. You know, when it's either way, a hydrogen or nuclear or an atomic, whatever you want to call it, if that drops in your backyard, you know, you're not feeling anything. You don't know anything. Yeah, you're just gone. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's like somebody walking up to you and, you know, pointing a 9mm to somebody's, you know, lobe.
Yeah.
And just pulling the trigger. You don't know it. You might see it coming, but you're not going to feel a thing. You're not gonna, you're just gone. That's all there is to it.
Control Alt Delete. Now, if we can real quick, I'd like to switch gears. I don't know because I know you're super busy, but
I'm good tonight. I'm not busy tonight at all.
Well, have you heard of the new Kanye West Trump conspiracy?
Yes, I heard about it this afternoon actually, and it's like, you know, I think it's just a joke. And if it's not, then, you know, I'll tell you what another thought came. When I heard that, it was like, I'm not going to say that it's not possible, but here's kind of my thought on that is, you know, the word
I think
of
it's
God
more
tells
serious
us
than
that-
people. I think it's more serious than people are letting on, man. Look, I know that it's too late. He might be able to do some kind of weird wild card, independent write-in vote thing, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna fly. I don't think it's actually gonna happen. But I think the number of people who would switch from Trump and Biden would freak us out. because so many
I
people.
don't have no. I don't have no doubt about that. But that's not my thought. That's not my thought, and I'm not sure you even thought about this or anybody else has. But when I first heard that, I've heard it said that the Antichrist is already on this earth, and I don't know who the Antichrist is. I know there's there's a multiple of different people that are acting as Antichrist because they're Antichrist, but they're not the Antichrist.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Many people are anti-Christ, or they have an anti-Christ spirit about them. That doesn't make them the one
the Antichrist.
Right.
It doesn't make them the Antichrist.
That's right.
So, years, back when was it? Back when Obama was running and Tony Blair was around, there was a lot of hype and stuff about how Tony Blair from he's from EU, how he might be the Antichrist. I don't know if you've heard that in your circle or not, but that was in my circle.
Who exactly?
Tony Blair.
Tony Blair, okay. See, I heard it was the Greek prime minister, possibly.
Yeah, right. And that's where my mind kind of went to when I heard about the Conway West earlier this afternoon. It was like, okay, well,
me too.
Maybe he's, who knows? I don't think so.
But come on. I mean, legitimately, let's think about this. Kim Kardashian is the first lady.
Right.
Come on.
And I get you. I get you. I get you, man. But, there are...
We're moving far too close to the movie Idiocracy.
They have a big following. Huh?
We're moving far too close to the movie Idiocracy.
Probably, but there again, I'm not going to say that that it can't happen, because, time and time again, I don't even trust the shit that I see.
Right, I hear that
on a video. I don't trust anything that I see on the video.
Those 27 amendments are adhered to for all
Americans. There was a saying years
of...
ago that said, I believe nothing that I read, and I only believe half of what I see.
Yeah, I remember that. Who said that? That was I believe a founding father said that.
One of them.
Maybe not. It might have been someone else, but I know I've heard that. I only believe half of what I hear, or none of what I see and half of what I hear, or something like that. Yeah. Yeah,
and I only believe half of what I hear, or I believe none of what I hear and half of what I see. And today that saying isn't true, because I could be watching a video and I don't know, it might say that it's live, and it might say that it's, that this is live action happening on the moment at that particular time that I'm watching it or you're watching it. But how do we really know? We don't. We have no clue, because we're not there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Could totally be pre-recorded.
Pre-recorded, or,
Don't forget, I think everybody forgets about these deep fakes.
Exactly. The way technology is today, it does, you can fake stuff and make something be so believable.
That's right.
And again, even with you and I on the phone, I mean, here we are talking on the phone to, 20, 30 people. I don't know. I'm not looking at my screen to see how many people are online right now. But even there, how do you know that, that Facebook isn't manipulating those numbers and showing you, hey, you've got 24 people watching you. In reality, you might have 10.
Yeah, that's right.
How do you know? You don't.
No, I don't know. Yeah, there could be any number of people watching and they could totally fudge up the numbers and not,
Yeah. I mean, there could be 100 people watching and only be showing there's only 29 people watching.
Yeah.
It could go the opposite direction as opposed to the negative way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're living in a day and time we have no idea what really is happening except for what you're witnessing in your viewpoint. And most people's viewpoints, they say we can see 20 miles. You can see a 20-mile distance.
Something like that.
But that's actually, if I'm looking at something 20 miles away, can I really see it clearly? I might be, 50 yards, maybe 75 yards away. I'm going to be able to see something really clearly. And that's when there's enough light to actually see if there's any kind of
Yeah, because even
or,
me, man, maybe I don't have the best eyesight, but there's no way. 75 yards out, man, I've lost all detail. I don't get to see any fine detail.
You're going to see shadow and figures. You're not going to really see detail. 50 yards away, you can see a whole lot more detail and a lot more understanding. So, in my belief, I would say, conservatively, a 40-yard distance, 360 degrees that's around you, you're able to see. Anything further than that is going to be very difficult to say. And it's the same way with, and then you throw in social media on top of that with Facebook, Parler. I mean, because I've seen a lot of shit. I've seen a lot of shit on Parler that I disagree with, but it's a free speech thing.
Right, that's right.
It's
that's right.
Same way. It's the same thing with Twitter. I see a lot of shit on Twitter that is just, some of it I can understand. Some of it I'm just like, it's bullshit. Whatever.
Right.
I don't know. I just know that, my personal belief right now is people, you need to gather supplies for you and your family. And some people would disagree with this. And I'm going to say that, arming yourself is not necessarily the number one thing. I would say food, water is the number one thing that you need for you and your family. Then I would say protection, whether it be firearms or
a spear.
A spear,
and yes, you
bow and
can
arrow.
get those at Academy, really well made.
Yeah.
A
spear, bow and arrow, whatever. I would say that would be the second thing. I would say then to move on from that, you've already, if you've got food and stuff and you're in a home, you've got shelter, so that's taken care of. Shelter and food are I would throw in the same pot, so to speak. Then you've got, I would say that you need to get a group of people that are in commonality with you and your belief system that are within, at least an hour or two away from your homestead, that if shit hits the fan, you guys have a plan to meet at
just a
someplace.
mutual assistance group. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Where you can help each other out in time of crisis. You have people that you can rely on. It does take a village when you don't have the infrastructure of everyday normal society. You can't pull security on your own. That's just that's not a one-man job. And you can't successfully secure anything from so you wouldn't want to secure your home from inside the home. Now you may not have a choice, and you're going to have to do what the hell you can to defeat that attacker or whatever invader. but at the same time, you want to have a security set up, like, from outside of the house looking towards the house. You know what I mean? So that you can catch those who might want to storm it by surprise. But that's
whether that be a physical person or security cameras.
right. Exactly.
Either one. I don't know if anybody, or I know that there's several people that seen the post that I posted on there. My family and I, if you need a place to stay and you're hungry and you're scared, and you live in a city and you want to get out of that city, and you don't have a place to go and you don't know how to, PM me. Let me know. We'll discuss your situation. I'm not going to say I'm not going to say I'll take you in, but I'm not going to say I'm not going to. I'm just putting it out there because we need to discuss your situation, because everybody's situation is different, and everybody has different ideologies, different values, different religions, whatever it may be. I'm not opposed to taking in any different religion. I'm not opposed to taking you in as, and when I say taking you in, helping you out. But I'm also, I will tell you, you will always have shelter. You will always have food. You will be expected to help out and to do your part, to be a part of the situation, whether it is, working in the garden or doing chores, whatever. I will also say that, because you're not just going to come here and think that you're going to freeload. That's not going to happen. It's not a freeloading place. We help each other. That's what we're about. So I'm just putting that back out there again. You probably read that post that I put on Riot's page, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just, my family and I, we're more than welcome. We've got puppies, we've got chickens, we've got garden. My mom is, she's on site. She's not doing real well, but she's on site. My girlfriend is here. And my brother is a couple of hours away at his place, but he can be here really quick. But, my family is here to help out in any which way we can for people that are hurting. You single moms out there that have children that are fighting to just feed your family, having to go through all the hoops that DHS puts you through if you need a place. And I'm not going to say it's going to be, it's not going to be the Ritz-Carlton.
That's right.
But it's going to be it's going to be a bed and shelter, warmth, and in the wintertime, heat, coolness in the summertime. You're going to have food on your table. But there again, I'm just telling you, you're not going to come and, I'm not going to allow you to come and just flop around and not be a participant of the place. I'm not excited. I don't expect you to have to go to work and bring in money or nothing like that. It's not about money, because I care less about money. I think and Brandon knows this, Landon knows this as well as I have said many times. Money is not my key motivator. Money's good. We need it to live and we need it to pay bills, but there are ways around that if you're smart and you're understanding of how things work. There's bartering, there's neighbors, there's churches, there's all kinds of different things that we can work together. All right, I think I've said enough.
You did good, though, brother. I really agree with all of that. I agree with all those points. I'd love to encourage, anybody that's like-minded to try to create a mutual assistance group if possible. Because like I said, it's not gonna, you're not gonna be able to, you can't do it on your own for extended periods of time.
And I will say, you know, I want to say this to somebody because I feel like there's one person out there. I don't know who it is, but there's one person out there. You need to put your pride away. Don't be so prideful that you can't reach out and help. I was homeless at one time. I was living out of dumpsters in Phoenix, Arizona. And I had to put my pride away and pick up myself and call my grandmother and say, hey, I need help.
Yeah.
I'm homeless. I have nothing. Yes, it was a family member. And I understand that. But don't be afraid to ask for help if you really need help, because there's people like myself, and you know, I personally, you know, I may be going out on a limb here, but if there is a single mother out there that needs help, I would think that Landon and Tiff would be happy to help out with what they can.
You better believe it.
They're you know, they may have some struggles of their own, but I think that they would be willing to help out a single mother or even a father. And you know, because I don't, you know, there's been too many stereotypes on single mothers with children. No, there's a lot of single men out there with children. That their wives have passed, or you know, their wife just left them, or whatever the case may be. But if you're a single father, if you're a single mother, and you're scared, you don't have, you know, you don't see a way out, and you're depending on a check or a debit card from the U.S. government in order to feed your family, you know, reach out to me. I'm here. You know, and like I said, I think Landon and Tiff would be willing to do something. You know, I don't know what they can do because I don't know them that well, but I think you guys' heart is in the same place. I don't want to put you on the spot with that. But
No, you're not, brother. You're not at all.
I'll put myself on the spot with it because I know I've lived a long life. And I've seen a lot happen.
Tiff and myself have been homeless before.
Right.
You know, at different times, we both had to live in a vehicle.
Okay.
You know.
Well, I didn't even have a vehicle.
I got that bad too, brother, to where I had to call out, and I had to ask a buddy if I could stay on his couch without being able to offer him any money.
Right.
And
right. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but I'm putting it out there. Don't let your pride and let yourself, yourself, because you people are so much worth more than you realize. You're so much more worth than you realize. And, you know, I've got one extra bedroom, and then I've got a whole lot of other rooms. In that bedroom, we're able to put at least 4 people comfortably, because there's 3 different beds in there, and then we've got mattresses under those beds. I just canned a bunch of stuff this weekend. I canned a bunch of cucumbers.
I need to get with you because me and Tiff both want to learn how to can.
Oh, it's not that hard, but yeah,
I know.
We canned a lot. I've got, you know, anyway, you know, it's not a lot, but it's something. It's enough to feed people. It's good shelter. You know, again, I'm not going to keep on going about that because it sounds like I keep plugging that. But
right.
I'm just
I feel
serious.
you though, man.
I'm just very serious. Somebody needs help, hit me up. Let me know. We will discuss your situation. And when I say that, I'm not, you know, because again, I want to discuss with people and talk with them about their situation, because everybody has different situations. And if the situation happens to be to where we can help, we're going to. I'm not a guy that's going to make promises, but I'm also a guy that's not going to be, you know,
Black Lives Matter.
Deny people. Does that make sense? I hope I said that right. because you just have to be, you have to use discernment, and you have to use gut feelings and hear people and hear their voice, understand what's going on before you can actually start to put things in motion. I think most people understand that.
Well, I'm just pulling up an article from the Insider. Thank you so much, everybody, for the links that you guys have been sending, and for everybody who showed up. Bro Fist, thank you so much for being here. We've got Travis Lettuce. We've got Lettuce on the phone.
What's up, guys?
And
oh, my dog's got a little tick on his ear. I got to get it off here.
See, you have ticks to deal with where you're at. We have fleas.
Well, we got fleas too, but I can put that stuff on them and it kind of takes care of it.
Yeah.
But these ticks, I can't give her the tick medication until she is
a little bit older.
Yeah, a little bit older. It's not recommended anyway.
No, up in Indiana.
She's supposed to go and get her second shot yesterday, but because it was 4th of July, she couldn't do it. So I got to wait till next weekend. But she's doing great, man. She's listening and she responds.
Awesome.
She runs after the ball and everything else. So she don't chase the chickens. She kind of stands there and looks at them. But
that's all you can ask for in a dog. Casey, whenever one of the chickens gets out, I let Casey out because she'll catch it, and if I let her stay there long enough, she'll eat it. But if I can get in there real quick, it just scares the bejesus out of the chicken, and then Casey just kind of holds them down.
YouTube, I can see you guys, but I go to get other articles and stuff.
I understand.
Let's see. Normally my chat is combined, and it's not today. It's malfunctioning. So let me see. Is there anything I can do? I don't know.
Says, let us entertain you.
I'm kind of. Let's see if we can't read some of the chat here and see what's going on in chat. Russ, China censorship.
No,
I
April.
guess
I
that
think it was
in another thread, so I don't know what that thread was concerning.
No, April, I haven't read the other chats, but I'm glad that you sent the link about this. I grew up in a cult, and I can tell you why normal people joined. Like, that's very interesting to me, since we know that we are, people are telling us things, that they're tickling ears, so it's good to know what they're looking for so that you can know what to look for and use your own discernment, like Lettuce was just talking about.
It took less than 10.
There is a new, they're called the NFCA, and I think it's called the Not Effing Around Coalition. But anyway, Miranda, I know that Miranda wanted to call. There she is. She said, my turn to call.
I'm so excited.
Have we figured out how to do a three-way call yet?
Other people have. I know Corey's figured it out. I don't know if that was us.
Well, that's because she legit reached out to the person and got someone else's number and then called in.
Right, okay, I figured.
But hold on
She's
a sec.
genius
Let me
and
see.
I'm super excited to talk to Miranda.
Miranda, you're not going to chicken out.
No, she's feisty.
I know. I just love her. I love, Miranda.
Yeah,
and
call.
Francis.
Miranda, call in. See if I can't add you on.
Miranda and Francis go back and forth, and it cracks me up.
Miranda my phone number, and then I'll patch her in through my three-way.
He's on the phone. She's trying to call in, and it's not letting her.
Heather's like, I'm lost. What's going on tonight?
Nothing really.
Nothing really. Just a bunch of news. We can't really. There aren't very many things happening. Every rioter and every protester needs a break, apparently.
Yeah.
So everybody's.
Hey, Landon, I'm gonna give Miranda my phone number, and then she can call me, and then I will call you.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
super excited, Miranda. I'm excited. What's up, Mike?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Do you need me to let you go?
No, not just yet. Just
Okay.
Let me see how this works. Let me see how this works, bro.
What's up, everybody? I kind of just slid back in and started talking out of nowhere. It's Tiff. I'm here.
It is Tiff and Landon.
All right, so it looks like Miranda's calling me. Okay, Landon, are you there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Miranda, are you there?
I'm here.
Miranda!
Who's final?
What? I didn't hear you.
We have a three-way going.
Okay, so are y'all ready for me?
I am
Oh,
ready.
yeah,
I
yeah.
am so excited.
Yeah, go ahead, Miranda.
So I'm not very good at talking or telling stories, or I get all turned around, but I'm going to try to just tell this as a story first, okay?
Okay.
And ask you
Awesome.
questions. Okay, so now when I say all this, don't shut your mind off. Keep your mind open and listen to what I have to say before you shut me down, Francis. Okay?
Yes.
Starting after Trump took office, that is when Q started posting in the 4chan, 8chan board, because that's, the most private boards you can be on. Well, shortly after that is when I started following Q. And what Q does is he drops and I say he, but people think that it's multiple people. Nobody really knows the truth. But he started dropping these posts, and they're pretty cryptic. And what they're for is for the what they call autists, the people on the Chan board, to go and research this information. And Q is supposed to be military intelligence.
That's what Q is.
And he's dropping these things on there for people to go out and research and find this information. This information is out there, but it's so buried that it's hard for people to find. So these autists have been bringing it to the front and putting it out there. Well, I started following shortly after Q started for a while. I followed it religiously. And then I got to where I was like, this is all bullshit. I ain't following this crap anymore. And so I went for a long time not following it, but I still pay attention a little bit. And he was dropping things about the Clintons and Jeffrey Epstein, or Epstein, however you want to pronounce it, about them being with these young girls. Well, whenever...
Let's just try to remember that Uncle Algorithm is listening and will smite down videos and channels that you get shadow banned once you bring that stuff up.
Okay,
Okay.
so what do
So
I know?
I should be more strict about trying to get everyone to speak a little more cryptically. If you can find like a synonym that like so.
Okay.
Like when I say Wuhan Wiggle, you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I also didn't say the thing that the algorithm is listening for.
Right.
Okay, well, I'll do my best.
That's good.
So where was I? Okay, so when he started talking about the JP, and when he got arrested, then I, perked up a little bit, and I'm saying, oh, wait a minute, I recognize that, So I started looking more into it. And here's the thing about people that roll their eyes when you say the Q letter.
Yes.
There's a lot of people out there, that are interpreting these drops. And they're making these videos, and a lot of them are getting paid for it because they are on the YT video place.
Yes.
And so they're making all these assumptions about what he's saying. And so when the stuff that's brought up about, HRC, eating babies, to me that's just a distraction, and also a lot of other things that people say, like the JFK coming back to life. I think all that's BS because Q never said any of that. That's just stuff that people are assuming he said, you know?
What the?
Oh no. Travis, are you still there?
Travis?
Hello? Why does that keep happening?
I don't know if it's a time limit or what. But
Hold on, Miranda. Give us just a second.
I lost them. Crap. Hold on, everybody. My whole Google Voice just shut down.
Okay.
My whole Google Voice just crashed. Hold on, guys. I don't even have it pulled up. Maybe I need to add credits. Maybe. I don't know. Discord is way better because then it's a little more protected. Okay. Amber says she said too much.
I know.
LOL.
Mark said Q gotcha. Big Brother said no.
Tom's like, they're listening. Do 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 do.
Y'all are laughing. I'm chuckling because like it's awkward and
Yeah, no, it's terribly embarrassing. And at the same time, here, I'm going to try and pull it back up. Okay. Let's see if this works. Mike says, that's interesting. Yeah. I fell into the Out of Shadows rabbit hole a few weeks ago. Oh, goodness.
ooh, do tell.
Wake Up says, LOL, don't bash Q.
April, I want to hear about the Out of Shadows. Look, okay, let's make Monday night our WTF. Let's come prepared for tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, everybody get your weird stories together. Okay, all your current rabbit holes that you've been down.
We could even do one a night and then keep an eye on protests and rallies and such in the background.
Y'all been threatening us since Birmingham. I ain't seen shit. When is July the 4th? And all
Exactly,
you scary
Miranda.
ass
I
Negroes
just
that
want it
pass
to be
that shit
known.
around. Look at what the fuck you did. You made blacks come out.
She says, we are not suicidal. So, yeah, just let it be known that neither myself or Tiff say hey.
Right.
We are not suicidal.
Hi.
And at the same time, what's none of this is legal or professional or medical advice. You know, it's all just entertainment. So, yeah, same here, April. I'm putting that out there right now as well. Hibby jibbies, guys. Hibby jibbies. You will not find me in a small plane. I don't fly. There will be no reason to find me in a plane.
Right, because April's telling me about the shadow, like the shadow
yeah
thing. I want to. So okay, April, get links.
You know, Chad is a good place to go for
tomorrow, like
for the shadow people, like those shadow figures that you see.
That freaks me out so bad. It gets me right in the jeebers.
Yeah. You know anything about Project Speech?
My spouse
or
loves
outcome?
me. April's like, look, nothing's wrong in my life right now.
No, Chad, I don't.
Hey, okay.
I wish that my chat wasn't malfunctioning. My spouse loves me.
No, she's saying like I'm not at risk. I'm not suicidal. My
Right.
spouse loves me.
This isn't a Carol Baskin situation.
Right.
You know, we're good.
Ooh, that might scare the bejeebies out of me.
Out of the shadow. Oh, never mind. What is? I'm not sure. I think I'm confused here.
Because I asked April to tell me about it because I want to hear what she had found out.
All right. So they took down the Christopher Columbus statue.
I demand to know what the notepad says. What? What notepad?
pedestal where the Christopher Columbus statue once stood. Videos on social media show demonstrators using a rope to topple the statue and threw portions of the statue into the harbor. So you can see some of the debris, the marble over here. And then if we walk down these steps, you can see the skid marks
Mike,
where the statue
thank you
was
so much
taken
for
into
supporting
the
what we do here,
harbor.
brother. Bro fist, my man.
Officials
You know we
say
love you.
that
Thank you so much, my
portions
man.
of the statue were
Dude.
thrown into the harbor, but they don't know
All right.
where the rest of the statue currently is.
we gotta
This
think of
particular
something, babe.
statue was dedicated to the city of Baltimore
Mike
by the
donated,
Italian
so,
American
like,
organization
I need to get, like, hot
in
sauce.
October
And do,
1984.
like, a
This
hot sauce shot.
demonstration
I could bring him
comes
a real
during
nasty
nationwide
shot if
call
you guys
to remove
want.
Confederate
Ooh.
monuments and statues of other controversial
What would you
historical
like me to
figures.
bring?
And this is where
gonna do some hot
the
sauce or
statue
something.
was eventually thrown into the water, portions of which were thrown into the water. So once again, what we know is that the Christopher Columbus statue here in Little Italy was toppled. And portions were taken here, thrown into the water. Officials say they don't know where the rest of the statue currently is. Baltimore police tell us that they are aware of this incident and that so far no arrests
So they
have
took
been
down
made.
Christopher Columbus
I'm Rachel
and
Menitoff
threw him
in
in the
Little
water.
Italy for
Part of him.
WJZ.
And then they took some of them.
Now we want to
looks
show
like
you
a
that
trophy.
video again of the statue being torn down. You can see they used a rope to pull it down. Cheers could be heard as the statue cracked and fell to the ground. Then they drug it to the harbor and tossed it in. Here's a closer look at protesters dumping parts of the statue into the water. J.M. Giordano shared this video with WJZ showing a piece of the statue being tossed into the harbor.
Oh, Carl.
There it goes.
Tabasco, mayo,
And
and
Twitter
pickle juice
user
shot.
Spence Compton captured this
eating
piece
a
of the
Tabasco
statue
shot with a raw
splashing
oyster
into
in
the
it.
water. This demonstration comes during a nationwide call to remove Confederate
April has
monuments
some
and
links
statues of other controversial historical
that I'm
figures.
nervous about.
Statues of Columbus have
yeah,
been torn down in other major cities across the U.S. amid recent protests.
April, can I ask? Can you send this to me in a message so that we can look over it? And
Well, coronavirus hospitalizations declined again Saturday in Maryland. Statewide, cases have topped 69,000, but the number of people hospitalized dropped by a dozen since Friday.
All right, so let's see. All right, moving on to the subject of Wuhan Wiggle. All right, let's do it. Can we just do it real quick?
no.
We don't talk about it very often, and I just want to get a feeler. So for you guys who think it's hoopla, type 1. If you think it's
Not
not hoopla, type 2. Number 3, type number 3 if you think there's some form of agenda behind it, or you can let us know what you think.
It doesn't matter what you believe in, as long as you believe. We are here. Believe in God. You want to believe in Allah. You want to believe in Buddha. There's something greater that's allowing us to wake up every morning, and we got to give a thanks.
Mary says
We
3.
thank you, Lord, for everything you do, everything you've done.
3 meaning
and
what?
everything
3
you're
is like a
going to do.
month
3 is like, I neither believe it's hoopla nor not hoopla.
Yeah, I think that's where I operate. Like,
Oh my gosh, everyone's like definitely 3. 3, 3, 3.
Right.
3. Holy crap, 3. Okay.
So, do I believe that it's as bad as what they're saying? Absolutely.
Ryan's
not.
like 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3.
But like, am I also practicing with caution? Like, unlike this gentleman who's got it down, pulled down under his nose. Which, by the way, the mayor of Baton Rouge and of New Orleans, which were 2 separate mayors, got
Over
on.
YouTube, we have 2, 3, 3, 3, 2, 3,
Right.
2, 3.
April's like, it's real, but exactly.
3, 3, 3. It's real, but ooh.
It's like okay, let's pretend, let's treat it as if it's not hoopla. Let's take precautions, but nah, something's afoot.
No, it's not about that. There is so much more to this.
You need to be praising. He said, acknowledge me in all my ways. Skating is my way. And I acknowledge
Breaking.
Truth says it's part of the agenda.
Thank you, Lord, for
Thank you so much for that link. Who sent that?
Breaking. Police responding to second deadly shooting in 24 hours at burned Wendy's.
Okay, so I've got that pulled up.
You got the one Mike sent? Okay, you're awesome.
Oh, you're awesome.
You're awesome. We're both awesome.
We're both great.
Right, exactly, April. So I don't ever want to be insensitive to that because we've known people that have passed. But that big old butt, you know.
That's a big old butt. I tell you what, it's a big old butt. If you get my meaning.
Miranda, are you still out there? Like, what do we...
Yeah, it dropped off, and now I haven't seen her. I hope she wasn't, like, with the call. It's a joke. I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, those are all great questions, April. Very good questions. Switched to Firefox. I did not switch to Firefox. Did not. This is Chrome. Okay, I will, Heather.
You're amazing. Wake up.
Trav, my Google Voice dropped and completely exited, and I tried to pull it back up, and it needs me to log in, and I was just trying to also get some links put up on the screen, and I need to pull up my Messenger as well. It's a disinformation campaign using just enough truth to hide. Oh.
Yeah, and that's the risk with half-truths.
Yeah, and that's how they sell you everything.
Sick. People are getting put on vents, but do they need to be on vents? And what are they really sick from? Like, I don't know.
Right.
I had double pneumonia, and literally I was septic. My nails were turning black because I was bad. I pulled up to the hospital with a blood pressure of something like 79/40. And anyway, like, it was bad.
Yeah, it wasn't very far after you really got going with it, Miranda, and then it just, like, it dropped.
Travis, just hold on, because we're having issues on our end.
Police responding to second deadly shooting in 24 hours at burned Wendy's, and this is in Atlanta. Okay. Atlanta police respond to second deadly shooting. 1 hour after Atlanta mayor, police chief address shooting death of 8-year-old C. Correa Turner. Officers are back in the neighborhood. So this is the scene of the shooting.
Right. The ones that do become very ill become very ill. But, like, I don't know, there's more to it.
I know a guy that got the Wuhan wiggle, and he said that he was over it in like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
He didn't even need to go to the hospital. He self-quarantined inside of a camper outside of his house for I don't know how many days. And then they just like Clorox, Lysol.
Yep.
I don't want to say the word boom, but you know what I mean. And he said that he beat it quicker and it was easier to deal with than the flu he had the year before.
Yeah, well, all I know is what was that I got real sick? Probably 4 years ago.
Oh, it had to be 4 or 5 years ago now.
4 years ago. We'll say 4. Anyway, I got really, really sick with double pneumonia. I had another infection going on. It was bad. Anyway, I went in on a Friday and it was just bronchitis. And then Monday I was supposed to fill a prescription. I couldn't get it filled because the lines were forever. I felt terrible. Anyway, by Monday I was really not doing well. And so went to the hospital. My BP was super low. I had double pneumonia. I had to be admitted. I was in the hospital for I think a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. And never once, like, I was on the strongest antibiotics that they had, and they literally just flat out told me, this is either gonna work or it's not. Like my nails were turning black, y'all. And anyway, never once did they put me on a vent. But I realize it's different. But if pneumonia is what's causing the complications, is all I'm saying. I don't know. And different strokes for different folks. You know, obviously, just because they didn't put me on a vent doesn't mean that it's not. But if all I'm saying is if the hospitals are so overrun. How come everybody has time to do all these choreographed, dance videos?
You can see it's coming up.
Yes, I did I was septic, yes. I say no fun, but man, if you gotta go, that's the way, like, for me, that's the way to go, because it was just very, when your blood pressure drops that low, it's very just, I don't care. Just leave me alone and let me sleep.
I wish my chat
you can see it catching again.
would function properly so that it would show both.
But I think that there's a virus out there. I think that this is a campaign to kind of desensitize people to it. So now what are we doing? We're going out without masks. We're not practicing precaution. And then this fall, we'll get hit with something else that will be bad.
See, I told you, once it hit that corner, there goes that corner.
So you guys, just in preparation of what's coming in fall, I want to make sure you guys have everything you guys need. Go get water purification methods, or at least look into them. Basic medical supplies, extra bars of soap, extra toilet paper, different essentials, lots of cans of soup. You really want to just, because it could be a very hard winter.
And if it's not, well, there you go. You just
And if it's not, well, then you don't have to go to the grocery store for some stuff as much, which could really come in helpful if, maybe there's civil unrest out in the streets still.
I'm going to read Mike's comment here. Atlanta. The Georgia Department of Public Safety said a group of protesters vandalized its Atlanta headquarters Sunday morning. Channel 2's Lauren Posen was at the scene along United Avenue all morning, where Georgia Bureau of Investigation agents assisted with the investigation. DPS officials told Channel 2 Action News that a drop of 60 to 100 protesters dressed in dark clothing and masks came to the headquarters around 1:05 a.m. They were armed with bricks, landscaping bricks, Molotov cocktails, fireworks. Their one mission was to destruct property, and that is exactly what they did. Lieutenant Stephanie L. Stallings, spokesperson for the Georgia Department of Public Safety, and that's the end of it. Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad I didn't expire too.
Here, let me. There we go. Now look, see? See, now it's hitting some of the heavy fuel. Look at that.
Already done. Finished prep last week. Way to go, Carl. Looking for a couch. I'm looking for a couch too, for real.
Vegetation in this area right here. See, you can see down there right now, it's getting close to where it's going to start on. It's going to start with the heavy vegetation down there. It's just creeping up to it. But look at that. Oh, it is so hot out here. Woo!
Yeah, absolutely, April. I'm excited to watch the videos that you sent too. Thank you for sending that.
Okay. Stacy, thank you so much for this link. Protesters across the nation are this is on Highway 14 in California. And nationwide protesters appear to need a break.
See, I was talking about how it was going to creep up here. Well, it took longer than 5 minutes, but it sure made its way. There's a lot of heavy vegetation.
I'll never be the same. What do you mean, Miranda?
Man, here's the thing. I think that it's...
All right, folks, well, I'm going to go from here.
Disadvantageous to immediately come out
sign off
the way that whoever the NFCA, Black Panthers, whatever you want to call them, I think that they would do better if we unified.
Right.
But they don't want that. It's all about them. They don't want to talk no more. You better give them Texas or they're going to go somewhere.
Wait, is that a real thing? I thought that was a joke.
No, that's a real thing.
Can you educate me?
I can't.
What's going on with this
I've
fire?
lost all the links.
What's this fire?
It's on Highway 14 in California. Let me look for some of these links.
It's coming up on fire season. Watch out,
Well,
Colorado,
I'll stay
California.
For a couple more minutes. Because as you can see, it's hitting the heavy vegetation.
Oh yeah, I'm having
Oh, there
serious
it goes.
issues with my internet.
It just hit the heavy vegetation in the center.
It might be the storm.
Crap. Sorry everyone, please bear with me.
We've had storms all day today and yesterday.
I don't want to get...
Miranda, it's we're having issues with all of our stuff. I don't even know. Are you using Restream for calls?
Restream?
Yeah, like Miranda said, she's calling back in, but I haven't even heard it.
No,
answer.
it straight up had issues.
The U.S. Forestry
I don't know right
Service.
now. I'm a bit spread thin. I'm right now. I'm trying to focus on showing you the NFCA.
In all honesty, I think we're supposed to pay something. We've been operating a lot on
Oh yeah.
trial periods,
Lord,
and
yeah,
so
see,
now that our
now-
trial periods are ending, it's probably something like that. I'm sorry, but we'll get it.
There's
We'll
the
get it
heavy
straightened out
vegetation.
here in just a minute.
That I was talking about.
No, you're not being censored, Miranda. I'm so excited to talk with you. Are you kidding me? Let us figure out what's going on.
It's just ripping through there now. You can see all the trees down there that are now just gone. Almost instantaneously. It's done.
What
The whole
the crud?
gully
Please
right
bear
there.
with me, everyone.
I am still worried about Yellowstone.
Anybody want to
All right,
speculate
folks, I
about
gotta go.
wildfires?
I gotta get in the van.
Yeah, but
get some
wildfires
fresh
have
air
been
for a
an
few
issue
minutes, get a
pretty
drink. Whew.
I don't
It's
know.
gotta be well over
Australia.
Look, I'm just saying what the word is. What I hear is that it's
Yes, Miranda, I agree.
it's a technology that's up in the sky that goes like,
All the black smoke is all fresh.
you know what I mean? And then areas catch on fire and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you know? No? Am I off
You can see
base?
when it
No?
hits the top of the tree
Is
that
that
it
crazy?
takes like
Who knows anything
1
about that?
second to
Let's
take
take
out
another
all.
step into the
Tomorrow
tinfoil
is
hat.
gonna be the tinfoil hat night.
I'm dealing with so many malfunctions right now, everybody. Just bear with me. My show is basically useless right now. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
How can I bear with him? I don't know to bear.
Wow.
Look at that.
See that, folks?
I could imagine. I see videos of people like
It just
on the
lights.
road evacuating from fires, and the
It
fire
is
is on
fire
both
season.
sides. That's horrifying.
We gotta be ready for this. Our emergency responders, sheriffs, highway patrol, fire. This is part of their job. Yeah, look at that. That looks like a fire extinguisher on the side of the mountain there. You can see it's basically burnt through.
Who knows, Shannon?
And see, look at that. See that? That's how hot it is here. And look, there's no
LOL, Tiff, you have a
fire
bear
in
next to you.
location right here. It's out. It's been out. But now that's caught on fire.
You'll actually be in Jellystone next weekend? If it blows, I'll be gone. A couple seconds. In a couple seconds, yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, that's way too smoky.
Maybe not even a couple.
Take pictures.
We use laser satellites to control hurricanes and forest fires. DARPA developed them. This is turning into an X-Files podcast, right? Yeah, well, I totally encourage that.
Can I get a 1 in chat if you're along for going on an X-Files journey with us tomorrow?
You're not wrong. Branch of Star Wars. LOL. Dude, Hillbilly says nukes are obsolete. Oh my gosh. Oh, and Star Wars came out as movies to cover for the Star Wars project.
We'll be back shortly, folks.
Long before wildfires routinely swept the land uncontrolled, many parts of the ecosystem actually depend on wildfires to exist. Interesting.
Karen and April both say yes, they're down for an X-Files
so
journey.
at least we got a couple of people who are down for X-Files type stuff.
Stacey.
DAP is down.
Where are you seeing all these?
I'm looking over in YouTube.
Oh, okay.
It's my YouTube chat is almost completely ignored. I'm sorry, guys.
No, because I can't see it, so I just.
That right there, folks. You can see the chopper up there.
Y'all should dress like aliens tomorrow, dude. I would.
I think Miranda would be down for it too. She hasn't voted one yet, but I just feel like she would be. Jonathan.
Anthony says weather will be controlled soon.
Oh yeah, well it's already being voted on in North Dakota. They've already got a vote for it.
Hillbilly says Area 51 is misdirection. Wright Patterson is more qualified. Like Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
I think that if everybody that went to remember last year when everybody was like going to storm Area 51, I think that if they had known what 2020 had in store, they would have just gone ahead and done it. Amy says, I want to believe.
Ryan says weather already is to an extent.
Yeah. Geostorm.
I love that. Amy's like, I want to believe.
And Miranda's like, yeah, I'm down for anything.
I know there's a lot of people here right now.
I'm here for a good time.
I seriously have to take a break.
What would X-Files be about?
Oh,
you know, anything. Strange happenings in the world to, you know, lizard people to aliens to Bigfoot to, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I love Bigfoot, skinwalkers,
Give
angels,
me a topic
demons,
and I'll give
aliens.
Give me a topic and I'll give you a tinfoil hat.
UFOs. All the good stuff. All the good stuff.
Skippy.
Creatures, weird videos.
Skippy says anything. What is the weather control thing called?
I think it was
Project
called HARP
Gloomy?
for a while.
Wasn't there Project?
Yeah, but that was to show images in the sky to trick massive groups of people. But there's HARP.
Wendy's and Pizza Hut files for bankruptcy. I heard Chuck E. Cheese did too.
So like that meme about how they'll never financially recover from this is happening for them.
Oh, what meme? What? Oh, I don't know.
There's a Joe. What's his name? Damn.
Who knows about CERN?
Whoa, Tiff just. Damn.
Whop. Look at that little dog.
The explosions. It changes you, man. It changes you. Oh, yeah, we just turned it on.
What?
Good.
Tomorrow's episode. Okay, I want to save these for tomorrow because look, tomorrow's
Then
episode.
get to writing because we got to find current stuff.
I know I've got so much already. Like really, there's so much we could almost dedicate a show to each.
Miranda says I research it all, Tiff. Me too, Miranda. I try.
I knew I liked you.
I try. I really do.
There's some sort of
Oh gosh, I have to pee really bad.
Thing in our attic.
Yeah. Laser beams. Laser beam. What did Mary say? I'm putting it in physical from via pictures.
I don't necessarily believe everything, but I put it out there for discussion. Miranda, we feel the same way.
Yep, same way. Same. Same way, same. How about, ooh, see, that one will get you shut down. Anyone else think it was inside? Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't know. It may have not been who you think inside, but definitely controllers, powers that be. You know, I certainly don't believe the official narrative.
We'll put out a roster tomorrow.
Angelia, Brofist.
For translating, you know? Like we can put out a roster in Discord or Messenger or something.
Well, what we'll do is
hey, Angelia.
We can try and do one, I guess. Ooh, love it. JC's talking about antimatter warheads, USAF. Oh, wow. I see, because I thought that was some really, sticky stuff to work with, if you get my meaning, when it comes to the dark matter, because it's supposed to be anti-matter. So it has such a reactive... Yeah, totally about that, Miranda. I do, Angelia. I do. Yeah, Anthony, we do need code words. We got...
That's what I was saying, like we'll put a roster out.
We got algorithms listening. She's had enough. Oh, okay. Okay. I thought that it was...
I told...
All right, everybody. Well, let's see. Guys, we're going to reset, and I'm going to take a restroom break, but we will be back shortly, and also try to prepare some links.
Absolutely.
So, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Brofist, if you need anything, you can follow us on Instagram, Parler, Facebook, YouTube. All of our links are in the description. Thank you so much for everybody that donates and supports us. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming back. Hopefully you guys will all join us in the next hour or so, maybe hour and a half. We just got to get some stuff handled. And looks like my computer just needs to be reset because everything is malfunctioning on my end. And to be honest, I'm surprised we're live. But thank you so much again, everybody, for being here.
Yes.
Yes, all of that stuff.
What he said.
Brofist, Stacy, we'll be back. Angelia, thank you so much for the links. I'm going to need them when we come back. So you got one in Austin. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. We will be back. We'll be right back, everybody.